From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning as earnings recession continues to grow. More companies missing on earnings after the call yesterday. Well, the latest details on what happened with them and what to expect for a new week upon us. The biggest week that was concluded. We'll recap, but we'll learn why one of the biggest numbers released after the close yesterday, the PCEI, gives us guidance on that inflation going higher. Plus, what we learn on that unemployment front on Thursday, why that recession underway is good news for you and your benefits. Because with that inflation tracking higher on Friday, your benefits are going up a lot. Approximately $5,000 more per year. We'll have a huge news across the board in this big breaking news report with so much coming in today. But the great news is that there's lots of money. And that lots of money is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. We're going to go over that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You want to get it because we are in a recession. We learned that on Thursday. These are the only checks you're going to get. There are not going to be any other checks. Approximately $100,000 across the board. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. It's great news. In this recording, we're going to go over the breaking news of that PCIE release after the close yesterday. Inflation has not peaked, it went higher. We'll go over the latest details on labor, the latest details on the recession, the earnings recession as well, and also the raise of your benefits, plus these incredible checks. Stay in the second half of this video. We're going to go over the president's comments about the recession, or in his opinion, lack of recession. We'll go over what to expect for this new week and why the labor numbers are not particularly settled down. Plus, more about your big money. Go under this video, become a member. Join the hundreds who have joined in the last few hours. Biggest join of memberships on this channel. Thursday and Friday this week. Why? Because the value of membership is so much more important now than ever. This is where those big checks are. This is the only place where those big checks are. We're going to go over all these incredible checks later in the recording, and we're going to meet one viewer who got 84 stimulus checks this week. It's all going to be your success stories as well. I have that feeling. Jump onto this video and become a member. The deliciousness of mornings heats up right now live on air for July 30th, 2022, starting right now. And good morning, everybody. I hope you have a video today. The biggest week that has concluded, but next week is going to be just as big. We'll go over the latest details that came after the close, and that was the miss, the earnings miss, as a series of earnings misses came in all last week, but some companies beat. What's going on that? Plus, you're going to hear a new element, a new breaking news report today about whether we may be out of the bear market already. Shocker, it is a shocker. We'll analyze it later in this recording. Unemployment surged to its highest levels of 2022 in the latest details released Thursday. Plus, we are in a recession, as I told you we would, with those numbers that came in on Thursday. Then after the close yesterday, an inflationary number, a big important number. And that is huge because your benefits are going up. But I'm going to start first with the latest details. We have a lot in today's recording. We're going to start with that earnings recession. After the close yesterday, Intel reported corporate earnings for second quarter this year, and it was a major miss. Here we go again. Earnings for revenue on Intel was a major miss, declining 22% year to date, and it missed consensus by 14%. Ouch. This is the biggest disappointment for Intel, the chip maker, since 1999. Meantime, Apple beat, Amazon beat, and Roku beat. I got those wrong because remember, Walmart no less than 2 weeks ago guided down. They don't report till late in August. So we all thought that Amazon was going to be a miss, and we thought that Apple was going to be a miss because Alphabet, Microsoft missed this last week as well. Let's look at what happened. We had a series of companies in the tech sector miss while other industries didn't. Let's recap the latest on that earnings recession that you've seen on LALATE. First, we had misses for social media, like the Snap, Twitter, And then tech like Microsoft and Alphabet. Chipotle missing as well. But as the earnings recession was abound in those industries, other industries did really well. Travel and leisure was all beats. Royal Caribbean, the cruises, Hilton, beat. What about pharmaceutical? All major beats as well. Then when you look at the credit cards like Visa and Amex, all beats as well. Misses, however, when you jump over to Black & Decker, the home tools, the power tools, misses. So we had misses on technology generally. We had misses dramatically on home improvement, but we had beats on travel, leisure, and also travel, leisure, hospitality, and also pharmaceutical. Very, very interesting across the board, which brings us then into the other major number we were looking for this week. It came in after the close yesterday, and that is the PCEI. The biggest week there was had the biggest number after the close on Friday. This is the number we were looking for, the PCEI, Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, and it rose 6.8%. Folks, this is the most important inflation number we have this week and next week. Why? Inflation is generally gauged at the Federal Reserve by this benchmark, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, PCEI. But in recent weeks, they've been using the CPI, which we're going to get to in a second. That CPI doesn't come out for 2 weeks. In between the CPI numbers, we have the PCEI numbers. So this is the most up-to-date information about inflation. Has it peaked? Has it not peaked? Is it going down? What do we see? It has not peaked. The number came in at 6.8%, the highest number since 1982. Out of control inflation. And when you look at the core PCI, which takes out food and energy, it was also up 4.8% year to date. Incredible news across the board. This is big news if you're on benefits. Why? Because your benefits are going up a lot. And we were waiting for this PCIe number to give us an indication, because guess what? We don't have the CPI for another 2 weeks. Your benefits, congratulations, are going up a lot. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rail benefits, and veterans benefits. Let's go over first what's going on with inflation, and then we'll explain how it impacts your benefits. We've been looking at inflationary numbers since May, when the CPI, PPI, and also the retail sales went higher. But then in June, they went higher after that. Let's go over what happened. The CPI in the month of May had been an 8.6% read. This is inflation. This is the most preferred use of inflation, the CPI benchmark. Month of May, 8.6%. Then they were looking for 8.8 for June. What did it do? 9.1. 9.1 out of control. So inflation had not peaked. Then what do we look the next day at? The next day we had the PPI released, the Producer Price Index, which gauges wholesale numbers, and that number was even more dramatic. The CPI was the biggest number since 1981. Then the PPI, which is wholesale numbers, released the day after. Wholesale numbers was the second highest ever reported on this channel. And then on Friday, the retail sales number came in, and that was higher across the board. This is big news for you and your benefits. Huge news. Absolutely astronomical news. Let's go over broadly what it is, then we'll go over the calculation. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits are going up an enormous amount. Astronomically an enormous amount, about $5,000. And this is not just 1 year, this is lifetime, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Why? Because inflation has not peaked. All right, now let's go over the calculation, starting right now. We needed that number from Friday, so importantly, because we needed to see if inflation had finally peaked or whether it hadn't. I say it hasn't peaked. And guess what happened? That number that you're hearing for the first time ever on this channel right now, the PCEI, released on Friday, shows it was still higher. It has not peaked inflation. So, great news for you on your benefits. Why? Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, C-O-L-A, and it's determined by another number. It's the CPI-W, a subsection of the CPI, which we just went over. But not the whole year, only 3 months. The month of July, which was just about to end, the month of August, and the month of September. The data is released a month thereafter, of course, a month late. And what's going on? Well, we already saw the CPI for the month of June is out of control. Highest level of a generation. So we need to see that the CPI-W for the 2 more months, CPI for August and September, goes higher. And the way we gauge it is looking at the data in between when the CPI is released. It's released once a month. It doesn't come out for another 2 more weeks. And what do we look at? We look at the other data points, and that was that PCEI on Friday. Told you all last week, this is a critical number. Hugely important number. If inflation goes lower, this would be lower. If inflation goes higher, this would go higher. If inflation is stagnant, it would stay stagnant. It went higher, much higher. Highest number for this PCEI since 1982. So huge, great news. You can do a victory dance. I know it's early in the morning. Don't have too much caffeine before you do a pair dance, but this is great news. So let's go over the calculation of this. Your benefits are going to go up an astronomical amount. We only have 2 more months to watch for data to make it confirm, but it's looking really good. This is you. First, is it automatic? Yes. Is it you? Yes. Automatic, so it's by direct deposit or otherwise in the mail, however you get your check. Number 2, is it you? Yes. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and more. Next, is it $5,000 for everyone? No, some people will get more than $5,000, some will get less than $5,000. Is it the same percentage? Absolutely. The same percentage across the board. So the July month is almost over. We got August and September's data to really track at, and we are doing really well. This, my friends, is why you have to watch every single video. Imagine if you missed this video, you would not know the data about the PCEI. I may not be repeating another video. I had one viewer reach out to one of the volunteers overnight, asking the following question: whatever happened to the president swapping COLA for inflation? He doesn't have to swap COLA for inflation anymore because inflation has raised your benefits up astronomically. It's as though someone says, whatever happened to fifth stimulus? You don't need fifth stimulus to raise your benefits because it's happening right now. What if someone says, they haven't asked it, but what if they said, whatever happened to SS300? You don't have to ask that anymore because this is SS300. Congratulations. Incredible, great news. Now, let's go over what else is happening and what we saw is projected. Yes, unemployment. I had projected that those unemployment numbers would surge out of control to 260. And what did they do? They did exactly that. Let's look at the numbers right now. Those unemployment numbers surged out of control to a whopping 260 this last week. Let me explain what happened. Unemployment numbers were 166 in the month of April. Then they went to 180. Then they went to 200. When they were at 200 just 3 weeks ago, I projected they're going to go to 230. They did. Then they went to 251 last week, which of course is 1 week out. It's the data delayed 1 week. This is new unemployment claims. 251 last week. Well, this Thursday, Department of Labor came back and reassessed the number, adjusted the number back up to 260. There we go. We got it right again. And then this week's data was a little bit smaller, about 5,000 less, about 256. Wow. What did we also get on Thursday? 2 for 2? 3 for 3? Well, on Wednesday, told you the Federal Reserve was going to raise interest rates 75 basis points. Got that right. On Thursday, I said we're going to go 260,000 new jobless claims. I got that right. On Thursday, I said we're going into recession, and we got that right. Back in February, I was the only American broadcaster to report that we're going into recession in the U.S. economy. No one would dare use the R word at the time. The first major bank to announce it was a month later in April when Deutsche Bank announced it. Then, last month, when the Atlanta Fed GDP Now, a subsection of the Federal Reserve, released their live tracking tool, they looked at the economy that ended the week of June 30th, and they said 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have now posted. Live data. 2 negative quarters of consecutive GDP growth down. Negative is defined as recession. Again, a recession is defined as 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, gross national product. Well, they said that happened. But I told you that the official announcement would not come until the Department of Labor announces it this Thursday. And what do they announce? Yes, you've had 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. We are in a recession. I told you first we're going into recession. I told you first that inflation was going to not peak. I told you first that unemployment claims are going to go to 260,000. This is why you stay with this channel. And this, my friends, is why you get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. These forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state are the only checks you're going to see. There is not going to be any other checks anytime soon. If you missed the recording on this channel several days ago, go back and watch it. It was an afternoon show, 3 o'clock. I said I was not going to repeat what happened. But this is the only 4 stimulus checks that are ever going to exist anywhere else anytime soon. And that is why the value of membership has gone through the roof. The value of memberships have gone through the roof because this is the only place you're going to see how to get the 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. There will be no other checks except these anytime soon. Done by executive action in the month of March by the President of the United States. These are huge. Approximately $100,000. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get them. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get them. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get them. How do you get them? Go under this video, become a member. Thank you for all the wonderful new members. Thursday and Friday were 2 of the biggest membership gains of this channel of the entire summer. Why? Because people now realize this is where people are winning. This is where people are earning. You're going to meet in just a second one viewer who got 80 checks. You heard me right, 80 for stimulus checks because there's approximately $100,000. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in just a second. You need to get these big checks across the board. What are we looking at when we see these earnings recession numbers so confusing left and right? Well, let me give you a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, plus breaking news, new indication today that maybe the bear market is already over. The bear market that already just started is already over. I'll explain to you the analysis in the big second half. It's a shocker. And you're going to be shocked as well. You want to be shocked on something else? Here you go. This is something to make you want to go get another shot of that cappuccino this morning. Or cowpuccino if you're at the casino. Let me tell you this one. The mortgage rates fell dramatically overnight. You said that wrong, LA, right? You mean they went up dramatically overnight because Jay Powell raised interest rates, right? And mortgage rates went up because Jay Powell raised interest rates. That's how it works, doesn't it? No, they went the other way. What? What's going on here? This is why you got to watch every single video and stay with me all weekend long because this is just the start of this weekend. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate, after they heard the announcement of the negative quarter of GDP growth and hence recession from the Department of Labor on Thursday, after they heard the Federal Reserve raising interest rates 75 basis points on Thursday, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate fell astronomically. Down. Does this make sense? Let me tell you what's going on. Back no less than mid-June, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate to buy a property surged to 6%. And then mortgage applications dropped, meaning people applying for a mortgage, dropped the lowest number of applications in 20 years. Well, what happened between Thursday and Friday in 24 hours? The 30-year fixed mortgage dropped from 5.4% on Wednesday to 5.22% on Thursday. 0.3%, a third of a percent in one day? That's insane. And yes, this is an exceptionally fast drop, exclamation point. I record this on afternoons, but I forgot to mention, there's an exclamation point in that quote. There's an exclamation point in that quote. That is an exceptionally fast drop, exclamation point, says Matthew Grimer of Mortgage Daily News. In a way, mortgage investors are trying to get ahead of the game. If they're holding mortgages at a higher rate, they will lose their money if the loans were financed too quickly. Things are changing very dramatically. They are. And this, my friends, is why you have to stay with this channel. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over why the housing industry has pivoted so dramatically. If you're a member to this channel, you watch the second and third line of the newsletter nightly, and you look at the price of wheat and corn, and you look at the price of gasoline, wait till you see what happened to them. We're going to go over that right now. One of the great benefits of being a member is the membership newsletter. The membership newsletter in there has the membership worksheets. These are all created by LALATE. You're not going to see this anywhere else in broadcast news. This is why LALATE is now the #3 most watched financial news channel, broadcast, streaming, or otherwise, cable in America. We're expanding to #2. Those LALATE worksheets are at the third line. You can print them out if it's a PDF or you can download on your phone. The first page of the worksheet is inflation, recession, labor, Federal Reserve. We got a lot to go over on that one, folks, right now. Inflation. Here you go. Breaking news overnight. PCEI, personal income expenditure number, shows that inflation has not peaked. It's now at the highest level since the 1980s. That number. Number two, recession. We are in a recession. We have posted 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. Those 2 negative quarters of GDP growth define a recession. On Afternoons LA, I'll go over the president's comments yesterday. The president of the United States said we're not in a recession and then went out and talked about why he believed it's not. It's fake facts. It's fake facts. A recession only has one definition. There's only one definition for a recession: 2 negative quarters of consecutive GDP growth down. And we are in a recession. You can say the recession is not broadly felt. You can say it's not a typical recession. You can say some parts of the industries are doing well despite a recession. But for the president of the United States to come out and say it's not a recession, it's fake facts 101. Let's go to labor. 261,000 jobless claims. That's last week. We pulled back. We're at the worst labor numbers of 2022. The president of the United States says the best, strongest labor market of a generation. It's not, because the strongest labor market of a generation was last year. It's not this year. And then the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve raised interest rates 75 basis points on Wednesday. Here's another breaking news. Those people on Wall Street that literally changed their projections with the wind now say that 70% of them project Federal Reserve will do a 50 basis point increase in September. They don't mean in August. And that only 30% of analysts say it'll be 75 basis point in September. I say 75. Yeah, so I'm in the minority. All right, let's go to the next page of the worksheets. This is the page that helped one viewer get 84th stimulus checks and can help you do the same. 80, not the number 8. Let's go over that incredible second page of the worksheets. This is a wonderful table created by me for you to keep track of all your checks you're applying for. And it has a table for when you applied for, what months you were paid for, your contact information, check A, check B, check C. One viewer wrote it all down and forgot to look at it. Then last Thursday, she got the email of a lifetime. As a member, she got that email from her state. She's in Florida. It says, ma'am, you got approved for check B. Congratulations, but it's bigger than that. She got approved for her mortgage. Wow, but it's bigger than that. She got approved for 18 months of her mortgage. My goodness, that's not $10,000. That's tens of thousands of dollars. It's 18 months. It gets better than that. She also applied for all her utilities. That all her utilities plus all her mortgage is about 5 checks. 5 checks applied is 18 months. Yes, 5 times 18 is about 80 plus checks. Absolutely incredible. She got 80 plus checks, 4 stimulus checks, because she became a member. She's not alone. You can be that as well. We have this on a regular basis. Spelly, another wonderful viewer. He's in all the live chats. He got check A, and then he got some check C's for almost up a year. I'll feature more about him later today. And this is why you want to become a member. It's not one check, it's massive sums of checks. Let's go to the next page of the worksheet. The next page of the worksheet is your benefits lift. We will analyze that more on afternoons today and evenings, but here we go. The PCEI released yesterday shows inflation is not peaking. Your benefits are looking really good. They're looking really good for that lifetime lift across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness is the last page. I think it's going to look really slimy. I can say that because I feel confident in saying it. If the president does $10,000 of forgiveness of $150,000 or less student loan debt forgiveness 1 week before you vote for the midterm elections. If he waits that long, when it's exactly the story I told you he's going to do in the month of July, we're now heading to August, and he waits to September to do it, it looks slimy. I've been justifying saying he's going to do it now, and he's been delayed because he has COVID. He wants people around when he signs into law. I can justify that. But if he holds this to September, it doesn't look good because everyone in his sister and brother knows he's going to do this back in April. And if he waits this for October, not good. Now, the page of the worksheet that's really fascinating, and I want to zoom through this because I don't want to take too much time on this, it's on afternoons, is the oil. What's going on with this oil? If you're in the membership newsletter, you will have seen yesterday's newsletter what happened with oil, wheat, and corn. First, Putin invaded Ukraine about the 3rd week of March. And I've been featuring all this data since the day he invaded. The price of wheat went through the roof because they could not export the wheat from the bread belt, which is Ukraine, because they're battling a war. Corn, same thing, went through the roof. About 2 weeks ago, featured on this channel for just a blink of an eye, there was a agreement between Ukraine and Russia that they can now export. So suddenly the price of those products dropped dramatically. Well, other products have dropped unrelated to Ukraine and Russia, and they are lumber. Lumber has dropped to its lowest levels of the entire year out of nowhere. Steel as well. Commodities coming back down dramatically, and it's huge. Let's jump over to gasoline. Two different numbers. International price of Brent crude determines everything. It's the price of gasoline because gasoline comes from international sources. U.S. triple national average is what you pay at the pump. Let's look at the two numbers right now. When Putin invaded Ukraine, the number for international Brent crude surged from 100 to 110 overnight and then went to 120. Got that? In recent weeks, it went all the way down to 98 and then came back up to 108. Today, it's going to 110. So it's going back up to the middle range and heading back straight to the high range. But the domestic unleaded has continued to go lower every day. It is now, drumroll, below the level at which Putin invaded Ukraine. When Putin invaded Ukraine, it was about 425. It's about 422. Wow. Now, what's going on? The reason why the gasoline is down domestically is because oil traders here are trading it down, believing there's a recession, and that recession impedes the ability for you to spend as much money as you usually would, and you're not going to buy as much gasoline. The White House says the price of gasoline is down because of its policies. Not true, because guess what? The international price of Brent crude determines everything else. My takeaway is that this short-term down spurt is caused by traders. And once those traders change their mindset, we go right back up, which is where the international price of Brent crude is across the board. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over all these incredible four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You want to get these big checks because guess what? These are the only checks, and that's why the value of this membership has gone through the roof. There are no other checks. There will be no other checks anytime in the near future. These huge checks are absolutely incredible, approximately $100,000. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in the big second half. What do? You go on to this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Get ready to get these big checks in the second half. Plus, I'll go over why, shockingly, we may be out of the bear market. True or false? I'll have the latest details on this big shocker of a story in the second half. We're just getting started. It's a big breaking news story weekend. Stay with me all weekend long for exactly this reason. Stay with me. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with LALATE Morning continuing.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LA for a beautiful July 30th, 2022. First stimulus check is in every U.S. state. We're going to go over all those incredible checks right now. Plus, we're going to go over whether we're out of a bear market out of nowhere in the stock market. Really shocking. And I'll have my analysis of what happened last week and what I project is going to be happening this week. It's a big morning's broadcast, and we're just getting underway. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. Hope you also became a member. Go right in this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. And in this big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks across the board. Let's start with them right now. Back in the month of March, viewers of this channel said, LA, can you find me some checks? And I did. And they're huge. Two great things about these checks. One, I wanted big checks so that you get a lot of money to survive this recession. And that's a lot of money. Approximately $100,000. Lots of checks, and you saw that viewer who got nearly 80 checks. It's a regular occurrence on this channel. Number two, I want a broad eligibility. Make sure you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get them. I care about you greatly. This is a channel that everyone cares about one another. This is why this channel works. And we're going to go over all these incredible checks starting right now. First, Check A. And Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Done by executive action for Joseph Biden. It is absolutely incredible. How do you get it? Let's go over the details right in now. $6,500 to $12,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. How do you get it? Go under this video, join the channel. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. Then get that membership newsletter. Go down to where it says Check A. Click the link. It sends you into the it sends you into the nationwide website. Choose your state, and then choose the weatherizing grant. That's what Spelly got. Congratulations to him. But you're not going to stop there yet. You go get Check B. This is Check B that helped that viewer get 80 plus checks. She got it for Check B. She's in Florida, and it's absolutely incredible. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it as well. And how do you get it? Become a member. Go under this video, join the channel. This last week had two of the biggest membership days of this channel because I told you it's going to happen. There are no other checks anywhere else. These are where the checks are. Second, there's going to be a financial cliff. There is a recession. There is runaway inflation. And you need these big checks. And they're not going to be around forever. Go under this video, become a member. But look how well we've done already. $80,000 for Check B. $12,000 for Check A. That's about $100,000. We're not going to stop there yet. We're going to go get Check C. Check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, more. Single individual, go get it. Married couple, go get it as well. If you rent, if you own it, if you have children, if you don't have children, go get it as well. How do you get it? Step one, become a member. Go down this video, join the channel. Meantime, also let me thank all the wonderful, kind Purple Hawks who upgraded from Purple Hawk membership to Purple Power membership this last week, one of the biggest upgrade weeks ever. And to those other people that upgraded to Calcino VIP, thank you as well. Become a member. Then go down to Check C in the membership newsletter to it tells you where to call, who to call, and what to say. And there you go. Incredible news across the board. Viewers have been getting monstrous sums of money for Check C for this channel for a very long time. This channel's gotten $50 million since this channel launched in spring of 2020. But as to Check C, lots of success stories. And you should be a success story for any of these checks today as well. Get these checks even on the weekend. Let's look at some of the success stories for Check C's. These are just some of the success stories. Nisi, Richard, Nancy, Mark, Elizabeth, 20 to 30,000 for Check C, go get it. Utilities, Angela, Mark, Nancy. Mark's mother-in-law is getting $15,000 for utilities. Mark's mother-in-law is getting $250,000 for SNAP over 10 years. Combinations. Nisi, Mark, Nancy, Lorraine, Johnny. Nisi has gone from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark sent me a beautiful message yesterday. She went and had a meeting with her utility company. She got more money from them as well. Mark sent me a beautiful message as well. He's gone from $32,000 to $50,000, from $50,000 to $100,000, and then from $100,000 to $166,000. This is when he's 50. He's now at 166. He got Check B. Lorraine went from 105 to 155. This was the week in which Lorraine, Johnny, Margaret, Nisi proved us right. Why? Because I say they're in all the videos and you cannot miss a video because there's so much breaking news and I don't repeat the news. So let's say next week someone jumps in the live chat and says, whatever happened to the EIDL grant? Whatever happened to the Titanic? Whatever happened to FPC Retro? Whatever happened to bell-bottom jeans? Whatever happened to that BBB thing? Whatever happened to lobster shorts fashion? Whatever happened? I don't repeat stuff. So if you missed it, you're not going to see it. You need to be on top of all the news by the hour, by the minute. That's why it's so important. That's why even today's recording is important. Today's recording, we learned about that inflation is still not peaked because that PCIe number released after the close. We learned that corporate earnings continue to miss in some industries, but not in others. And they're not particularly fluid, as Apple and Amazon beat when we thought they were going to miss. And then we also saw that the housing industry is turning the other direction when we thought it was imploding. Confusing? Yeah, I'll have more about that in a second. Number two, Nisi, Lorraine, Johnny, Margaret keep on getting checks. Margaret had a meeting yesterday, got some more checks. You need to keep on getting checks. Let's recap what you do. Step one, go into this video, subscribe. Subscribe to LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, expanding to number 2. The 2 new channel changes you've seen have already landed. First, LALATE Live is now a 24-hour day, 7 days a week live show. You can jump in the live feed at any time to see an updated broadcast by the hour. Number 2, jump on at LALATE.com, the website that started 20 years ago. Relaunch with lots of breaking news about your money. Number 3, 2 new channels coming to this family soon, LA2 and LA3. And the revamping of even this channel coming soon as well. So get on board by becoming a member, subscribing, hitting that bell under the video to make sure your notifications set to all on, and getting these big sums of money. Go into this video, join this channel right now if you haven't, and let's go back into the other breaking news that's happening right now. The other breaking news that's happening right now is trying to figure out whether we may be out of a bear market. Out of a bear market? Where did that happen? The latest details that are shocking across the board. Are we out of a bear market and going back into a bull market? Let me tell you analysis, and let me tell you why this is so strange. And I'm going to check myself on this one, because 2 days ago I ran the quote. 2 days ago, I ran the quote that some analysts said that if you had not bought into certain stocks in the month of June, you feel as though you missed an opportunity. That opportunity is not going to come back because that was a one-time chance. And at the time, I said, "But wait a second, stocks are still going down." Here's what's really strange. Let's give you the analysis right now. We had all that really bad data in May. We had more bad data in June. If you look at a big swath of a lot of different major corporations and their stock charts look like this. May, June around June 14th. And then from June to July, they're doing this for several weeks. Well, guess what happened around July 15th, the middle of July? July 15th, let me get back in frame. They started to go like this. Lots of companies. And then even as some companies missed, the same companies I reported you miss on top and bottom earnings and revenues this last week, they went down 4% or down 8% for a day or two. They missed, and then they went straight up. The charts are, let me see in frame, the charts are straight up since mid-July to today. In fact, Thursday, a lot of them were up $20. Yeah, you heard me right. Friday, they were up $4. Straight up charts. So let me tell you the analysis that's out there. The analysis that's out there is a lot of people believe that that may have been the bottom, the end of the bear market in mid-June, and that we may be in a bull market. That's what the analysis is out there. Let me give you my opinion of the situation. My opinion of the situation at the moment is that when you're in a downward spiral, you do have times where you go back up. Number one. Number two, when you have a recession, you go down 40, 50%. We're not down 40, 50%. Number three, with a recession, the recession is not 2 days long. The recession is not 2 months long. The recession is, several quarters or at least a year. So we have a long track with this recession, still not done. The takeaway, my analysis today is I see the charts. They're all straight up. They're all straight up in just about the last 10 days. I see that. Am I ready to declare the end of the bear market? No. Do I see it a trader's opportunity? Absolutely. If you like to trade, if you like to buy and swap out, and you have the time to focus on that, you're making a lot of money in just the last 14 days because the stocks are straight up in 14 days. If you want to buy and hold and not really look at it, you're going to get burned because this could go straight back down again. This is a trader's market, obviously. I don't think it's yet a buy and not look at it market at all. So there you go. Bear market over. Bear market over. I'm not going to say that just yet. It may be over, but a little bit confused across the board. Let's go back to the housing industry. The housing industry reminds me of something else. Coffee beans. The housing market, no less than a week ago, had 3 really bad data points. We had data coming in bad left and right on housing. First, we had the home sales, existing home sales down. We had the new home construction down. We had the builders' sentiment down. And then we had the mortgage applications down, the worst numbers since applications down in 20 years. Suddenly, things are pivoting very quickly. The lumber prices have plummeted. They're really cheap. They're back to those pre-pandemic levels. Steel is down dramatically. Suddenly you see things changing, and you saw early in this recording, the mortgage things changing. What is my analysis? My analysis is go with the data. Go with the data. If things are down, then they're down. If things are up, they're up. If you see if you see the mortgage rate dropping, just accept it's dropping. If you see lumber prices dropping dramatically, just accept it's dropping. Don't try to overanalyze because it sort of feels a little bit like coffee beans. Why? How many times over the last 10 years have you heard that same coffee store at the corner, that Fortune 500 company, say, there's a hurricane in Costa Rica. The wind is picking up in Bermuda. Sumatra is feeling a little bit of chilliness. Put your sweaters on. We're raising your cappuccino prices by $2 today. And then once the wind settles down, once everyone's putting back their jacket, everyone's going out surfing in Costa Rica, the coffee price is still up. So they're using an excuse to get it up, and then when it's up, it's still up. They're not using the same excuse. Go with the data. Ultimately, that's all we can do. For now, we have a lot that have happened in just the last 24 hours. First, we have learned that when we look at those earning recessions, some companies are beating, like pharmaceutical, auto, travel, and leisure, while others are missing. We have on the labor numbers that the labor numbers continue to weaken across the board as inflation continues to track higher with that PCIe released after the close. We have those labor numbers surging to 260,000, and they're likely not to go lower because they simply, they may vacillate 5,000 or 6,000 as they did this week, but they're likely not to vacillate much more. Then we have your benefits raise happening, absolutely happening, because we have now July over and that PCIe higher, which of course is a delayed number. And this is why the value of membership is so important. The value of membership is so important here because the Force So Much checks are only here. They're not going to be anywhere else. There's so much happening on a given day, and there's so much news, sometimes not particularly clear, as mortgage rates dropping, lumber dropping, and things switching and going the other directions. That's why you have to get money when there is available money. You got to get it when it's good. You can't get it when it's not particularly clear. A new week will be upon us next week, but we still have new data to analyze this weekend. That's why I'll be with you all weekend long. Don't miss any recording this Saturday. Don't miss any recording this Sunday. And don't forget to become a member. Purple Hawk, Pearl Power, Casino VIP. Thank you to all the wonderful new members who joined in the last week. Record numbers. Thank you for all the people who have stayed on point and taken notes. Congratulations to all the people who have gotten those big checks. You deserve that as well. You deserve to be the next success story. Post your success story in the live chat to inspire other people. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I love you to death. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and I'll see you next throughout the day. And stay with LALATE for more.